Hey folks, this is Alexander Wynn taking on a tour of TerraGenesis for iOS coming soon to Android. Here we are on the main menu. We have the archives here with a list of articles about terraforming so players can learn more if they'd like to. We also have a connect button to connect you to our social presence, but let's go ahead and get started. Here we have a list of all the playable worlds in TerraGenesis. You'll notice that we have a whole, basically the entire solar system, the terrestrial planets, the moons of all the gas giants, the dwarf planets like Pluto. We even have TRAPPIST-1, the newly announced solar system from NASA that has 7 playable worlds. But let's just go ahead and colonize the old favorite, Mars. So you see here we have the terrestrial planets along with Earth's moon lined up. Mars is looking green and blue because I've already got a game going there, but we'll come back to that later. For now, let's go ahead and start a new game. You can select your faction. We're going to go ahead and go with the UNSA. Select your difficulty and tutorial, whether you want to use biomass or biospheres. Let's go ahead and use biospheres. So, we begin. Here you are. This is the main screen. From here, you'll begin your colonization efforts. We'll start by founding a new colony on Mars. You've got this nice map here. You can also switch to an elevation map to show when the oceans start coming in, where are they going to fill in, so you can be sure not to flood your cities. Let's go ahead and start a city here over by the Valles Marineris. You can input a city name. We've got city name suggestions from a bunch of different cultures, as well as you can see, science fiction writers and other science luminaries. So we'll go ahead and build Sagan. Within your colony, you can build different facilities that you can research. It's a new game, so we don't have too many. But let's go ahead and build another hab so we can fit some new people into our colony. It's under construction. Here we have a random event popping up. So this allows us to connect with our people, see what is happening on the surface of our planet. Right here we have an engineer is come up with a design that could upgrade our hab to a level 10, which is huge. So we're just going to go ahead and accept her design. And here we go. Our hab unit is at level 10, providing 550 habitation spaces. So let's go back. We are, as you can see up at the top, we're losing money, so we're going to go ahead and start an outpost. An outpost, very similar to founding a colony, but unlike a colony, people don't live at an outpost. It's a place where they can mine for resources. So here we have, again, Gagarin, named after the famous cosmonaut. So we're going to go ahead and go into Gagarin. We're going to build a new mine, and as you can see here, we have the map of the area around our outpost. We can scan for different resources. You need to research them, so we're just going to do carbon for now. And as you can see, as we move this around, the indication over on the left is telling us where the resources are. So if we narrow our focus a little bit, we can move, see if we can find a spike. There's a nice spike of carbon, and then we can establish a mine. Now this mine is going to generate some revenue for us over time. You can establish a bunch of different mines, upgrade them, get your economy going. But for now, we're going to go back. You've got the research section here. This is where you can research new facilities for altering the temperature, the pressure, oxygen, water, biomass, population, and of course the mining resources that we were just looking at. Any one of them can take a few hours, so we'll just start researching some thermal dust there. That's going to add +4 pressure per minute, and we'll go ahead and get started. We also have a culture screen. As you can see, we have +1 culture point ready to go, so we'll bring up that. Here we have 4 different types of culture sliders along with the victory slider. This is where you can adjust your new society on Mars, their culture, their values, their economy, their government. So, as you can see, each one is a trade-off. So if, let's say, we want to put it into the economy, if we move closer to an industrial model, we'll get faster construction and upgrade times. If we keep it ecological, we'll get a bonus to biomass growth. As you shift toward one, you'll start to get penalties to the other. So it really forces the player to consider what they want to prioritize and at what cost. We'll go ahead and put it into ecological for now, just to get things going nice and quick. But as you can see down there at the bottom, see, we're valuing knowledge over wealth, so we're getting plus 15 to our research speed, but we're also getting minus 15 financial growth. So it really forces the player to prioritize well. And then at the top we have the victory bar. Victory is achieved when you reach independence from Earth and you establish your Martian colony as its own going operation. We also have satellites here. So Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos, so you can colonize those, and you can also build a number of artificial satellites. These are sort of like world wonders in other games. They're very expensive, but they provide huge, huge benefits. So we haven't built any just yet, but we'll come back to that later. We have up here at the top right, we can tap, and this is just a view where we can see our world. Nice, pretty Mars. We can also manipulate it manually if we want. As you can see, we've got some city lights there where Sagan has been established. We can also pull up a flat map just to see what it's looking like. Top left is our stats screen. So if we pull that up, this is a graphical representation of how we're doing on each of the different metrics related to terraforming. So we've got temperature, pressure, oxygen, water, and then the leaf over there is biomass. There are 2 thresholds, plants and microbes, so that's where grasses and trees can survive on the surface, but animals can't yet. And then, of course, animals and humans means everybody can live on the surface. And as you go through each section here, it'll list out the different facilities that are increasing and decreasing the different aspects. As you can see here, we've got some water frozen in ice because it's very cold. We'll need to add a lot more water to terraform Mars. The last section I'm going to show here in this game is the biosphere button. Now, normally you would have to terraform a planet to a certain level to get the ability to add organisms, but for now I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it's like. So we have aquatic and terrestrial biospheres. Each one has 4 sections: microorganisms, algae, herbivores, and carnivores. And this works in a pyramid system. So before you can have plants and algae, you need to have microorganisms in the soil. Before you have herbivores, you need to have some plants, that sort of thing. So each organism, rather than being pulled from a set list or anything like that, the player actually designs them. So we're going to go ahead and make a new microorganism here. You can select from different phylum, so actinobacteria, lichen, fungus, protozoa, these are all real things. And then once you select a phylum, you can add any one of these genes, and they all have different effects. So, for example, our planet is very cold, so we can add cold adapted, things like that. And as you do, the DNA strand starts to get filled, and eventually you can confirm your organism. Right now we're not going to because it can't survive yet, but as you can see, there's an incredible wealth of information here for players to play around with, different mathematical representations of things, so you can easily see how your environment is impacting or any modifiers. You can add conservation in that. You can tap the headers here to get more information about each section. So that's the beginning of a game, but let's just go ahead and fast forward back to the main menu here, and I'll show you what the late game looks like in TerraGenesis. So we're going to go back to Mars. We're going to open up that blue and green planet that we had early on. So this is a fully terraformed Mars. As you can see, we've got beautiful oceans, white fluffy clouds, and as you can see, the light is glinting off the water here, and it's rendered in incredible detail. You've actually got my favorite thing here, which are the crater lakes are coming around the backside of Mars right now. So here I'll tilt the planet so you can see them a little better, but you can see this gorgeous representation of the water filling in these craters and forming these incredible lakes and landscapes. This is all pulled from NASA elevation data. So these worlds are rendered accurately. This is actually what Mars would look like with a sea level of about 600,000 centimeters above the nadir of the planet. So we've got these nice cities with their city lights. Some of them are getting a little upside down there. Some of them are coastal cities, as we can see around here, that city lights move around the coast. And we've got nice metrics here. Looks like our sea level is actually a little bit higher than it ought to be, but perfectly within range. We've got multiple colonies, all different population sizes, and they're ticking up nice and quickly. Let's go here to Sheffield. You can see we've got quite a few facilities built, all at different levels. Hey, we've established a new trade route. The citizens of Newton and Marineris have completed a high-speed shipping network between their two colonies. The new system will greatly stimulate trade between the two communities. These kind of things happen throughout TerraGenesis, and they really bring the world to life. And as you can see, we can watch, the sun rise over Sheffield, beautifully rendered across the surface of Mars. So this kind of gameplay is available not just on Mars, but throughout the entire solar system. And here we have the moons of Jupiter, the moons of Saturn. Each one is a completely playable world based on real statistics from NASA. They've all got completely different starting statistics, temperatures, atmospheres, all of this sort of thing. It's a really exciting opportunity to be able to play on all these worlds that you might hear so much about in the news or in science fiction. Europa played a huge part in the 2001 series. You can go, if you were always bothered by the fact that Pluto isn't a planet anymore, well, guess what? Now you can actually go and you can play on Pluto here with the latest maps from NASA. There's all sorts of different worlds that you can play on. Again, the TRAPPIST-1 planets that were recently announced, all their statistics are correct, up to the date, and here we go. Spinning, nice, high detail. It's a real opportunity to be able to bring a love of science to the players, and they have really enjoyed engaging not just with a science fiction sort of game, but a game that is rooted in science fact. To be able to play on the moon, to be able to manipulate the sea levels of Earth, as you can see. It's a very exciting opportunity. So that's TerraGenesis, the space colonization and terraforming game for iOS. I'm Alexander Wynn. I'm the sole developer of TerraGenesis. I conceived and designed and released the game entirely on my own, and we've been seeing incredible success ever since the game first came out. So thank you for watching, and I hope you check us out. Thanks.